Hello there guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. It is now the spring/hot season, which is the last week of the Series 14 Donate Media at Horizon update, which means next week it will be summer of Series 15. Today was the Forza Monthly/Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go streams on Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to go and check them out, I'll leave some links in the description for teasers on Series 15. But for now, we need to focus on the spring season, the last week of Series 14. We'll be going through all of this series, and I'll be showing you how you can get as many points out of the total of 63 points available as possible, and of course unlocking the individual rewards and working towards your seasonal and series rewards. Speaking of seasonal rewards, for 20 points this week you'll be able to unlock the Morris Traveler. That's the Traveller with one L, because if you remember in autumn we got the Traveller with two L's. They like to confuse things, so yeah, that's that one. It's basically just a wooden box on wheels that could also be used as some form of wedding or funeral vehicle, and isn't really very exciting. And then for 40 points we have the much more exciting 2021 Porsche 911 GT3. I've seen one of them in real life. There's also one near me, parked in a very expensive house. They are very, very nice, and that is for 40 points in the spring season. And of course, this week is your last opportunity to work towards the series rewards for the whole of the Donut Media updates. So for 80 points, if you haven't unlocked that yet, is the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. And for 160 points, which you either will have unlocked last week if you've been unlocking all the points, unlike me, or you'll be able to unlock this week if you've got at least 40 points in each of the other seasons. That is the Alpine A110 from 2017. And lastly, before we get started with the seasonal guide for this week, I would just like to give a quick shout out to Dobre, aka Andrew9565. He is one of the moderators for the channel. He's been supporting the channel for a long time, more than I can really remember, to be honest. And because he's one of the moderators, he's been providing me with the chapter/timestamps for me to put in the description. I do have to apologise because I forgot to do that last week after the message came through. I thought that I'd done it, and then it turned out I didn't. So I will make sure that the timestamps are done tomorrow or Saturday for this video. So a massive thank you to Dobre for doing the hard work. You're basically doing it on behalf of the other moderators, which is very, very nice of you, and I really do appreciate your support. So massive shout out as always, buddy. Keep up all your hard work, and of course to you viewers, do check out Dobre's creative hub as well, because he's a very good designer and tuner. So I'll leave his gamertag in the description for you to do that. First of all then, we have the monthly events. So as suggested by the name, these last across the month, so whichever week you complete them in, they will be completed for the rest of the month. So I completed them in summer, meaning that for autumn, winter and spring I started with a sum of points from these monthly events, and the whole of the total was added onto the series. However, if you're completing them in this week in spring, then the points that you should have got in summer, autumn and winter will be added onto them totals, and then you'll get the total for each of the monthly events added onto the series. So the way it works is basically the total points stated in the box, which has got a tick in it for me, but if you haven't completed it, it will be a certain amount of points there for the series, and then that will be divided by 4 to get a total for each week, because there are basically 4 weeks. So for the Horizon Story, 12 points for the series, 3 points each week, and for the monthly rivals, 4 points for the series and 1 point each week. For the Horizon Story then, Donut Media at Horizon, all you need to do is complete all 5 chapters and get 3 stars on every chapter, which means you'll have a total of 15 stars out of 15 at the end. That will get you 12 points, as I said, and a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Forza Edition. And for the Rivals events, all you need to do for both of these is post a clean lap to complete. Obviously you have to do them individually because they are 2 separate events, but the same criteria apply. Don't rewind, don't miss checkpoints, and don't hit walls, therefore getting a flag because of a collision. If your lap has an exclamation mark next to it, that means it's dirty or flagged. You basically just want a time and nothing else. So if your lap does have a flag next to it or an exclamation mark, then just go around again until you get a clean lap, and then you can hit quit and it will be completed. You don't actually have to beat your rival, so even if you think, oh well, I'm 15 seconds behind my rival, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is post a clean lap to get it completed in the festival playlist. Moving swiftly on, we have ourselves the Forzathon events section. This contains the weekly Forzathon challenge, daily Forzathon challenges, and the Forzathon shop where you can spend all of your Forzathon points earned from Forzathon events, and of course Horizon Arcade because you can get Forzathon points from that as well. This week's weekly Forzathon challenge is called Up to Speed. It will, as usual, get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and 80 or 160 Forzathon points, depending on whether you own the La Casa Soliguera house, which of course gets you double Forzathon points in any Forzathon related event, including a Horizon Arcade. That house can be purchased separately, or it comes free with the VIP pass. So they are the rewards for the weekly Forzathon challenge. And for Chapter 1, you will need to own and drive the 2010 Audi TT RS Coupe, and that is the car you'll need to use for all 4 chapters of this weekly Forzathon challenge. Now, this car can be purchased from the auto show. You do not need to put a tune on it, however you do for Chapter 3. For the other chapters you don't need to put a tune on it, so I'd highly recommend tuning yours. I have both an A-Class and an S1 Class tune shared. S1 Class because you need it for Chapter 3, A-Class just because I already had that one shared from a trial event, so you can download either or both of them for your Audi TT, or you can just make your own or download another one for Chapter 3 if you want to. Chapter 2 of the Up to Speed Forzathon challenge wants you to earn 2 stars on the Switchback Speed Zone, so that's not 3 stars, that's 2 stars. The Switchback Speed Zone is located at the top of the Gran Caldera volcano on the road side, and 2 stars for this is 75 miles an hour, which shouldn't be too hard to get, although you will need to make sure that your TT is tuned for grip, because you won't need too much speed on this one. It's mostly about how much speed you can carry around the hairpin and around the final few corners. And just to prove it's possible, even in the most understeery TT ever made, there is 95.6 miles an hour. You would easily be able to do that in A-Class as well. In fact, my A-Class tune is probably more well balanced than this S1 tune for this speed zone, meaning because you obviously have to cut off road, but that is Chapter 2. Chapter 3 of this week's Forzathon challenge is called Rally Sport Engineering and wants you to win any S1 class race event. Of course, you will have to upgrade the car for this because it starts in A-Class stock, hence why I've created an S1 class tune for you. It can be anywhere in A-Class, or even if it's S1 class A01 all the way up to S1 900, it doesn't matter, and then you just need to win any S1 class event. So I assume by that it means any S1 class race. And so basically, cross-country, drag, street, road or dirt, you can win any of them, any circuit, sprint, whatever you want to call it, as long as it is in an S1 class Audi TT. I would avoid using Event Lab blueprints, but if you have a renowned one that you use every week and it works, then feel free to do so, but for me they can end up bugging up other events and can tend not to work. And the final chapter of this week's Forzathon challenge is called A Fun Little Car. It simply wants you to earn an ultimate burnout skill in the Audi TT RS. For this one, you might want to swap your drivetrain to rear wheel drive just so you're getting a bit of wheel spin when you launch. But what you need to do is basically, when you slap on the accelerator, slap straight back on the brakes so the wheels are kind of spinning. It is a lot harder to do in an all-wheel drive car, however you will be able to do this pretty easily. Alternatively, you could go to a roundabout, turn the wheels on full lock, and then basically kind of half drift like slide, and that can also count as a burnout skill. Might be difficult to do in all-wheel drive, as I said, but definitely very possible. Now we have ourselves the daily Forzathon challenges. There are 7 of these and they will pop up once every day at 3:30 PM GMT. Each of them lasts for 7 days, meaning the majority of them will overlap into the summer of Series 15, so you'll have to use the View Series history to go back to them if you don't complete them by then. If you're having any issues with these as they pop up throughout the week, do not hesitate to contact me either on Xbox, Discord or in the YouTube comments, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. I have just noted a spelling mistake on the second one though, to earn 20 air skills instead of skills, so well done to the Forza developers for not working out that. And of course we have ourselves the lovely Horizon Forzathon shop. This week it contains the Maserati MC12 Corsa, probably quite a good buy there for 700 Forzathon points considering its price in the auto show. The McLaren 720S Spider, probably only worth it if you've got some spare Forzathon points lying around. And the clothes and the horns are only ever worth it really if you want to get rid of them from wheel spins, or if you have a particular interest in clothes and horns like I do in horns. And as you can see, I don't spend my Forzathon points very often. We shall now move swiftly on into the seasonal event section. There's actually more championships and stunts this week, and also playground games and Horizon Tour, so quite a big section to get through this week, so let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the trial then, which for the 4th week on the row is called Bumper to Bumper, because the developers are incredibly creative with their naming of events. This week it is A-Class Dirt Racing, Anything Goes. It will get you 10 points towards the festival playlist and a McLaren 600 LT, which for the record, you shouldn't race on dirt unless you're called AR12 Nick. I've got quite a few suggestions for you this week. I've just picked out a couple of the best of my tunes that I've got for you for this one. So first of all, the 2016 Aerial Nomad, then the Audi RS4 Avant. It is on rally tyres, not really a dirt build, but could still work as a kind of compromise. Then we have the Audi S1. We have my favourite dirt car, the BMW M2 Coupe with a V8 swap. We have the Extreme E number 99. However, you could basically use any of them because they're the same car with a different paint job. Then we have the HDT Commodore, which is another V8 build. Then we also have the Toy Story Mini John Cooper Works, Countryman, and finally the Mitsubishi Evo 10 Welcome Pack, obviously only available to those who have the Premium Edition, because Welcome Pack cars only come with that, or it can be purchased separately. Next up we have the seasonal playground games, and this week it is 3 rounds of Flag Rush. They still haven't got the hint that nobody cares about doing 3 rounds of the same thing. We actually want different things, but then again, the Forza developers are renowned for doing such. This week it will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist and the underdog in the Eliminator, the 2003 Audi RS6. The restriction is A-Class Super Saloons, and it is at the El Stadio Horizon. Only 2 suggestions for you for this week, and they've already been mentioned naturally. It's the 2013 Audi RS4 Avant and the BMW M2 Coupe from 2016. Remember, with the games you do not actually have to win, so even if your team loses you'll still get the reward, but of course it is always nice to turn up with a half decent car so that you can have a bit of fun. Now we have ourselves the seasonal PR stunts, and we're back to normal with the usual 3 PR stunts. So we have a danger sign, a speed zone, and a speed trap. First up on the PR stunt agenda is the Los Jardines danger sign, 2 points in the super wheel spin, and the restriction is S2 class Anything Goes. It's at the end of the highway here, and it requires 630 metres. I've chosen to use the Hoonigan RS200 just because I know it's very, very reliable. However, you could use anything such as them 2 cars there, the Rimac Concept 2, you could use the Porsche 918 or any kind of fast S2 class car that's capable of hitting high speeds and is fairly light, so will fly through the air pretty well. So tactics for this one, well, there isn't really any apart from just floor it and hope for the best. The Hoonigan is quite rapid with the racing 7.2 litre V8, so we'll just absolutely floor it. We get the daily challenge completed, and we'll just hope for the best. 630 metres is quite a high objective, however if you're carrying enough speed it shouldn't really be a problem at all. He says as he gets 530 metres. Well, that went well, didn't it? That went really well. And there you go, with the Rimac Concept 2 and a bit of a longer run up from the Street Scene Festival, I was able to clear the 630 metre objective on the first try. Next up then is the Vado del Rio Speed Trap, 2 points in the super wheel spin, same restriction, but this time you'll probably need a different car because it is an off-road speed trap. The restriction for this one is 135 miles an hour, which is actually the same as 3 stars. We're back in the RS200 because you can never really go wrong with an RS200 on an off-road speed PR stunt. So absolutely floor it, crash through the water there, and again crash through the water and still manage to get 143 miles an hour. So not too difficult on that one. Of course the water can slow you down, but shouldn't be too much of an issue there. And finally, to wrap up the PR stunts, we have the Ring Road Speed Zone, 2 points in the Super Wheel Spin, S2 class, and the restriction for this one is 115 miles an hour. There are two main ways you can approach this. The first is to carry less speed into the speed trap and then speed zone and then floor it down the straight, or you can floor it up the straight here, then have to brake hard and go around there a bit slower. Doesn't really matter which one you take, but depending on your car you'll figure out which one is the best for you. I'm going to start in this direction using the McLaren Senna, although you could also use the Koenigsegg CCGT, Porsche 918, Rimac, anything like that will hopefully be able to complete this. Okay then, so flooring it into the speed zone, we can send it right the way through, hopefully get the braking point on tack, try not to slide onto the grass because the Senna will not like it. We can cut a bit, send it through here, then absolutely floor it up the hill, and there we go, 119 miles an hour. Wasn't the cleanest of runs, however it got it done first try and proves that the Senna, with Dobre's lovely livery, is up to the game once again. Now we have ourselves 3 seasonal championships. All of these can be completed in solo or in co-op. If you're in solo, you'll need to drive or fast travel to each of the 3 races, which will be marked out on your map at the start of the championship, and these can be distinguished from the other championships because they will turn white, like a white seasonal colour instead of red. If you're doing it in co-op, it'll automatically fast travel you, and it'll work the same way as the trial, so it's like a best of 3 and you have to get more points than the AI essentially for that one. The first seasonal championship is called More Power Baby and is a saying of the Donut Media crew. It is road racing, will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a Ferrari 812, and the restriction for this one is S2 class Extreme Track Toys. You pretty much already know what cars I'm going to suggest for this one, but just as a little addition, we have the 2019 Bugatti Divo, and that is added along with all the other hypercars, the CCGT, the Senna, and of course all of the others that are available. Next up, we have the Past Gas Seasonal Championship, which is dirt racing, and the restriction for this one is C-Class Retro Rally. It will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a 1970 Ford GT70. I have only one car to suggest for you for this one, and it is the 1992 Toyota Celica GT4. It can be purchased from the auto show for 25,000 credits, so unlike in Horizon 4 when it was an exclusive, it is available in the auto show in this game. I've also put some really nice rally kit on it, some nice rims and a lovely TRD paint job, and it's running 243 horsepower and plenty of kit on there to make it a decent rally car. And the final championship for the spring season is called Money Pit. It is street racing and the restriction is D-Class, specifically the 1994 Mazda MX-5 Miata. No other Mazda, specifically the 1994. As that featured in the High-Low series for Donut Media. It will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and a 2012 Jaguar XKRS GT. Of course, as I've already mentioned, this is the only car you can pick. It can be purchased from the auto show for 25,000 credits, and my tune has a turbo on it for an extra 28 horsepower, some race brakes and pretty much nothing else, but I'm hoping that it is a fairly decent or average tune. It is shared under my gamertag as usual, Shylo 2017. Finally, for this section, we have the Horizon Tour Co-op Championships. Completing a Horizon Tour will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist, and of course the credits and accolades related to the Horizon Tour. To access it, either click on this tab here, this icon, or head over near the main festival, and you'll see the Horizon Tour is located near the drift zone at the main festival, and you can enter it there. It will be totally random. You cannot select your class for Horizon Tour. It will be totally random. There are hundreds of possibilities of the class combination and restriction, so it's completely up to the game, whatever you will get. We only have one challenge in the challenges section this week, and it is the photo challenge #HighLow, which wants you to photograph the 2003 Nissan Fairlady Z at the Horizon Festival Mexico. That is another car that of course featured in the High-Low series. Completing this will get you 2 points towards the festival playlist and a snap emote reward. All you need to do for this one is hop in your Nissan Fairlady Z, also known as the 350Z to us car people. I've chosen my drift version with the lovely V6 and purple paint job and wide body. Then head over to somewhere within the Horizon Main Stage Festival, as you can see here. Open up photo mode and take a lovely photo of your Nissan 350Z as follows. And there we go, that is the photo challenge completed. And finally, to wrap up this video, we have the Hot Wheels events. These are of course only available to those that have purchased the Hot Wheels expansion. That can be purchased separately from the Microsoft Store or as part of the premium add-ons bundle. If you do not own this expansion, by the way, you can still get the 100% Festival Playlist achievement, because it will recognise that you do not own the expansion and it will subtract these Festival Playlist points from your total, meaning that if you complete all of the other challenges in the Festival Playlist, you'll still be able to get that achievement. However, if you just choose not to and you do own the Hot Wheels expansion, then of course you will not be able to get it. You will have to complete these events if you own the expansion. The PR stunt on the Hot Wheels expansion this week is the Ice Cauldron Drift Zone. It will get you 2 points in the Super Wheel Spin, and the restriction is S2 class anything goes, although obviously you'll have to use a drift car rather than like a Hoonigan RS 200, which we've been using for the PR stunts on the main map. The two cars that I always go to when an S2 class drift zone comes up are the 2016 Ford Shelby GT350R for the purist drifters among us. That is a rear wheel drive version, and if you're a bit new to drifting or you just want to get it done, we have the 2013 Formula Drift Corvette. That is an all-wheel drive drag-tired drift beast, which will be able to get that challenge completed. And for the picky among you, you will have noticed that both of these cars actually have the same PI, which is quite interesting. And the Hot Wheels Seasonal Championship for the week is called Joy of Cars. You'll be racing on hazard events. It requires B class anything goes, and the reward for this is 5 points and a Morris Minor. I've just selected a few of my B-class cars which are capable of dirt/off-road, and therefore hopefully will be able to conquer the hazard events on the Hot Wheels expansion. So first of all, the 2017 Ford Focus RS, and then we also have, moving along here, the Porsche Macan Rally Raid, and then also the Subaru Impreza 22B STI. So all three of them cars are basically capable of any off-road event. Okay, that wraps up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. As I said, I'll hopefully have the timestamps up by tomorrow or Saturday at the latest, if I don't forget, which I promise I won't. So a massive thank you to Dobre in advance for doing that, and a massive thank you to him always for providing the timestamps, and of course his massive contribution to the channel. There probably won't be a live stream this weekend unless I spontaneously get time on a Sunday, because I might be free on Sunday, but I'll try and work on the Eliminator videos and getting new content out and stuff like that, so hopefully we'll get there eventually. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe to the channel, it massively helped me out, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!